Okay. Hey, Jen. Hi, Katie Pot Pie. Thank you. Thank you so much, babe. Ah, Shay's here. Am I still doing the pod? I am. I am. We've got some stuff in the editing. Right. All right. Inviting up Shay. Just got my Peptidere order a day earlier than it was supposed to come, even with the delay. Amazing. Shay, I just invited you up. So if you accept the invite, it should bring you up. Hi, Gracie. Okay. Yeah, I think you might need to log on from your phone. Hey, Rivera fam. How much backwater would you recommend? Jazz, you can head over to my disco. The link is in my bio, and we can help you out over there. Tonight we're kind of having a live event, so I'm trying to get everyone set up. Yes. Sounds. Okay, great. Here we go.
Hey.
Hey, Shay. Let me fix the layout. Settings. No. Change layout. Fluid grid. Save. All right. Manage guest.
Is that too bright behind me?
Let me see. No, it's not bad.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. We've never actually talked face to face, I guess.
We never did. No, just on the phone. So It's nice to meet your face.
No, likewise. It's very exciting.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you knew what my face looked like for a while.
Yeah, very true. I mean, hopefully my emoji is somewhat close.
Yes.
Maybe not perfectly spot on, but maybe somewhat close.
It's close. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. Who else is here? Invite. I'm just got to get everybody set up. All right. We still have a few minutes though. Okay. And then everyone's going to flow in. Shay looks like his emoji. Someone, Miss Troubles just said.
That's good. That's good.
There you go. That's the point. That's the point.
Yeah. I used one of my my real life photos, and I think I asked ChatGPT to make it an emoji, and it made my head a little bit bigger and my body a little bit smaller. But obviously, I just cropped the head part, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it did. It looks good. Yeah,
Thanks.
the face is spot on.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right, let's see who else is here. We got. Looking. All right, hey guys. Yeah, some don't look like theirs at all. His is perfect. Aw, Peel from Peptira comes ready to go.
Oh,
yes.
sweet.
Yes. So excited for tonight's live, the Pepfluencers. Yes. This is the peptide owners, you know? This is like next level.
Yeah, you have a ton of people tonight.
Yeah, we do. Coach Cam, my co-host, has arrived. I
was born in India. The ex who asked me what my ethnicity is. But I came to America when I was 1. So for all intents and purposes, I'm as American as it gets.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
What's going on? Shay, how's it going, man? What's up?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see
You
you.
got a new background there going on.
Well, I finally moved out of like my little goblin cave and like actually just disassembled the bed in my guest bedroom and moved in here. So
okay, there you go.
Slightly different setup, but a little bit more room for myself.
Okay, I'm just helping Matt get logged on. All right. Okay.
Sorry, my kids are over there just playing hide and seek out of a door frame with me. Sorry, my kids are over there just playing hide and seek out of a door frame with me.
Aw. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. It worked. All right. There's Pep Enthusiasts. All right. People are getting here. I feel like I'm hosting a party and like the doorbell's ringing now. All right.
What's happening?
Hey, Will.
What's up, dude?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing
You got
well,
a new
man.
background
Hey,
too.
Yeah, check it out.
Is that another corner of your house we just haven't seen yet?
Yes.
Got it.
What are you guys doing? Everybody good?
Doing great, man.
Cool.
Great.
Where are you guys all
Good.
located? I'm in Atlanta.
I'm Dallas.
I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey, Julia. Oh, you
Hello,
look
hello.
gorgeous, girl.
Oh, thank you. I
And then
decided to put some makeup on today.
it looks good.
Thank you.
And then we're just waiting.
That's well as usual.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. All right. Last but not least, let me see. Okay. Sorry, Cookie's coming over here right now. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Cookie. Hi. Hi. You heard I was going live? Ow. Cookie. Getting a little aggressive. Hey, Cal.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right. No problem. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Cookie took her NAD.
Jazzed up.
Let me see. Invite. I'm looking for Matt. We're gonna think this is, I think, yes, Matt is coming.
All right. Sounds good. One second. Be back in a second.
Okay, 1 second. Once we get this figured out. Hi. We got Cookie here. And I'm just trying to help Matt troubleshoot really quick.
It wasn't a camera Fort Worth. It was finally being able to go live. I actually told CDJ last week. I was like, I finally got live creator permission. I got the notification from TikTok finally.
Yeah.
Just in time for this.
Yeah, I think you need like 30 minutes, right? Or something like that.
Right. I know. Yeah, 30 minutes.
Or it used to be that.
Yeah, you got to go live for 30 minutes, like 3 days in a row or something like that. For 3 days.
Yeah.
3 different times.
I didn't go live or anything. I just got the notification.
Oh,
So maybe
okay.
it was commenting or posting or follower count. I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah. Just want to make sure you're not fake or something.
Where is he?
I think the rules.
Well, Miss Troubles earlier was saying that I actually look like my emoji, so that's good.
All right, here we go. Matt's using my backup account because his account didn't have live access yet. So just warning you, if there's 2 CDJs up here, warning the mods, that's who it is. I just invited him, so he should accept. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you're invited, Matt. So if you just... Yes. We are talking about the big F to the D to the A meeting tomorrow, JT, and how it'll affect the research space. Matt, if you're on your phone, on the bottom left-hand corner, there should be like a request to join, like a multi-guest thing, because I just invited you. So you should be there. And then we'll be good. Because he made it into the room. So he just needs to find out where to. Hey, Seth. For a fact, we won't even hear anything till 2028. This is us government. They move slow. Yeah, for sure. But people still have questions, JT. So we're here to answer, to squelch the panic, All right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a big move happening tomorrow. So
yeah.
Thanks
So
for talking
all right. Matt, while you figure out how to accept the invite, you're here at least, so you'll hear me. So I'm gonna start the opening. And Cookie's here. So he's on desktop. That's why it's not working. You got to do it on your phone. Okay, so go for it. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of the Pepfluencer Roundtable. It looks a little different up here because these are not your average Pepfluencers. These are the faces behind the Pepfluencers. These are the company owners that we have up here tonight. Because tomorrow, the FDA's Pharmacy Compounding Advisory Committee, better known as PCAC, begins a 2-day public meeting that could have major implications for what peptides mean to the whole world. The committee will be reviewing whether 7 popular peptides should continue to be eligible for pharmacy compounding under Section 503A. So that's BPC 157, and they're being proposed for specific things. That's the other thing. BPC 157 is proposed for treating ulcerative colitis. KPV is being proposed for wound healing and inflammatory conditions. TB 500 for wound healing, MOTS-C for obesity and osteoporosis. Imelditide, which is also known as DSIP, is being proposed for opioid withdrawal, chronic insomnia, and narcolepsy. Samax for certain neurological disorders, and Epitalin for insomnia. So we had originally hoped to have my legal counsel join us tonight, but unfortunately he had a last minute conflict and couldn't make it. But rather than speculate on legal issues, we're going to focus on what we know tomorrow's meeting is, what the FDA is evaluating, how companies are preparing, and what the community should realistically expect over the next few days. So we're telling you, you don't have to panic buy. And you don't have to worry that all your favorite research companies are going to close on Saturday because of whatever decision happens on Friday. That's not what's going to happen. Okay. Now, before we get into tonight's discussion, it's important to set the expectations. Tomorrow's not the day the FDA bans or approves anything. It's an advisory committee, and its role is to review the science and make recommendations to the FDA. Those recommendations carry significant weight, but they're just one step in a much larger regulatory process. So it would be a good thing if they vote in peptide's favor, but it's not the last. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So we've brought together owners from leading research companies to give you multiple perspectives and answer the questions that everyone's been asking. Now, tonight is not about predicting the future. It's about making sure everyone understands tomorrow's meeting so they can interpret the news for themselves instead of relying on social media rumors. And we're not going to look into a crystal ball, right, Cam?
That's right. Absolutely not. And with that, I'll ask the first question. So just for everybody that's here right now, what do you guys think the major implications are of the meeting as it stands right now tomorrow? Obviously not knowing everything, just want to hear where company owners' heads are currently at with the thing. So whoever wants to start, go ahead.
Oh, should we introduce everybody first? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Let's do that really quick. Yeah. Let's start with Shay, and then everyone just say their name and what company they're from so everyone knows.
Hey guys, I'm Shay. I'm from ION Peptide.
Coach Cam, Amino Oil USA.
Yeah, I'm Will. I'm the pep enthusiast, and I own PURUS Peptides with my sister, who's right next to me.
I'm Julia, and I own PURUS Peptides with Will, my brother.
I'm Cal. I'm the founder of ORBITREX PEPTIDES.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you great. Good job.
All right. I'm Matt from Felix, formerly Helix.
Awesome.
There we go.
All right, back to that question now. Whoever wants to start, what are the, as of right now, as it currently stands, what are the implications, or at least in your mind, the implications of the meeting tomorrow? What does it mean to you guys? Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, just from what I've seen and what I've read, it's obviously about, will these 7 peptides go on the 503A compounding or the bulk compounding list? But the weird thing about all of this is that some of the reasons, or the reason they're even looking at it, isn't why we typically even see these peptides being used in the research space. So they're going to have to prove its efficacy or use for these things, even though there's not much human use or human use trials regarding that.
Right.
So I think it's definitely an uphill battle, but the advisory committee, a lot of these people that are voting are actually big peptide proponents. So the FDA does say they go with their guidance. They've chosen these people for a reason. Most of them are doctors, if not all of them, from what I looked at. And so there's a good chance that they do actually listen to these people. And these people, I think, are going to be, I've looked at a few of these guys' websites and the clinics they own and operate. They are big time into peptides. I think a few of them follow Dr. Seeds. And correct me if I'm wrong, CDJ, but weren't you just at, I think it was the Peptide World Congress. Is that the one you were at, or was it a different one?
It was a different one, but I do take classes at Dr. Seeds Research and Performance Institute. So I knew all about the Peptide World Congress. Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had gone. It looked like it was probably a very beneficial one to go to.
Yeah, for sure. So did anyone else want to give thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think the advisory meeting that starts tomorrow, ends Friday, is basically just a formality where they are bringing the advisory board in. That a lot of them are tied to peptide clinics like med spas and actual doctors that can prescribe these medications. To put everybody at ease, I don't think this meeting really has much to do with the research space, which is good. But I do think that if they vote in favor of, moving these peptides from category 2 to category 1 is huge for everybody, because it's basically implementing that these peptides are safe enough for people to prescribe, and kind of takes a lot of the bad juju off of peptides altogether. It's basically we're basically saying to you, hey, these things can help treat certain conditions in certain people, and they are prescribable. But the problem is that you got the FDA scientists that are basically all saying that there's not enough human efficacy or human safety data on the table just yet to move these. But I think the advisory board, like Shay was saying, is very much big proponents of the peptide community. And they're saying that the anecdotal evidence that we do have, and people have been using these compounds for years, is they're basically saying, hey, look, these things are not bad, and they actually do help a lot of people. And I think we should move in the direction of getting these 7 peptides moved off the category 2 into the category 1 so they can be prescribed. And I think that's a good direction for the research space just in general. So it kind of takes a lot of the, it's better than these peptides moving into a space where we can get into a lot of trouble if we do sell them, So I think it would overall be good for the research space if they do say, hey, these are okay.
Yeah, just to back on like what Will was saying, this is just an advisory meeting. This doesn't mean they're making a decision. They're just giving their advice or what they feel is best recommendations. The FDA can take it. They cannot take it. They don't have to go with it, whatever. But for the research space isn't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. What I'm trying to say is, I think this is beneficial for the research space and research companies, because I don't know if a lot of people or if you guys feel the same way, but I think some of our biggest obstacles as owners of research companies is obviously credit card processing and advertising. And I think that if they go in the direction of approving these peptides for compounding pharmacies, I think it will take a lot of scrutiny off of this being illegal and whatever. And I think it might be easier for us maybe to be able to get credit card processing or be able to advertise more. So I think this might be a step in the right direction if it goes for a yes for the compounding.
Yeah, my concern, if I can jump in. So my concern is possibly it might increase credit card processing, sticking around a little longer. I think if this does move forward, which is not remotely given, it'll allow like websites that have like the trust verify, like, pharma system to maintain processing. A lot of the RUOs don't have that. So that doesn't really help us. But again, this is not changing anything. If it does change anything, it will not happen like dramatically. It'll be something that'll be a slow burn. If anything, a lot of the talk around this is bringing more knowledge. It's having the conversation be broader about these specific 7 as well as other peptides. So if anything, for the RUO industry, this is going to boost users. It's going to increase sales. You're going to have people who learn about these things, want access to them. The biggest concern is to make sure people don't gouge, because there's going to be an influx of new researchers that want to have access to these chemicals.
Mhm.
No, I agree with you. I think it's definitely going to make it a lot more mainstream. I mean, just in my daily conversations with people, if I meet people outside, they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" I mean, I would say not even 1 in 5 people even have heard of peptides, just from the general audience that I speak to outside of obviously TikTok and WhatsApp and my own communities. I mean, I think once you venture out into just the mainstream world, people just still don't know what they are. I mean, the market is still extremely niche, but yeah, this is bringing them a little bit more mainstream. And like you said, it'll probably bring more awareness to the space. And people are going to ask questions about these specific 7 peptides. And obviously that's just a gateway into everything else.
Mhm.
If I
It's
can,
like the old saying, any publicity is good publicity, right? Like talking about stuff, bringing more attention to it, bringing more awareness to it is a good thing. And that would be a good thing for us research companies as well.
Yeah.
I think one thing people aren't talking about, are you guys familiar with Dr. Watkins? You guys know about that whole struggle? So Dr. Watkins was arrested in April. He's an osteopath. He's a licensed medical provider. He was arrested for administering BPC, TB500, GHK, facing federal charges. I think this is a path for that to not happen anymore. And that's always a good thing. You know, you don't want providers who are making medical choices for their patients to risk being arrested for things like this. So I know the attorney couldn't make it, but I would have loved to talk about the whole Dr. Watkins thing. So hopefully, if it does move forward, that will not be a fear of prescribers and medical professionals. They won't be afraid of even talking about these things to risk their license, their malpractice insurance, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that kind of goes back to the voting members of this. I did a little bit of research on quite a few of them.
Yeah. We were
I would say I probably only visited 10 of their profiles, just Googling them. I think 7 out of those 10 mentioned peptides on their websites and in their clinics. One of them, who's actually on TikTok, his name is Dr. Gabriel Alizaidi. That's Alizaidy. He is talking about MOTS-C, Samax, I mean, he's talking about everything on TikTok. On his website, he's got a reconstitution calculator. So yeah, I agree. If anything, I feel like these voting members are really going to push the efficacy and how they use them. I mean, that's our hope, obviously, just to bring them more mainstream.
Right. And to bounce off of what Shay said, just want to explain to people what the 3 distinct groups that are going to be heard from at these meetings, because you could watch them on a live stream. These meetings, if you are so inclined, there's going to be the FDA presenters. They're going to be FDA staff presenting their findings on each peptide. They're not voting members. They're just covering clinical evidence, product characterization, safety concerns, historical compounding use, regulatory issues. So some of it'll sound really good and some of it might sound damning, but don't freak out. That's just them giving the facts. Then there's the permanent committee members, some of which that Shay was mentioning, and these are the core voting members, like that includes pharmacists, physicians, compounding pharmacies, quality experts, and representatives from the national boards of pharmacy. And then this is the hot button news, if you pay attention to this sort of thing. Added less than 48 hours ago, they added 8 temporary voting members to this board, to this meeting. And they added them to vote only for specific peptides. For most of them. So we have a consumer representative, a patient representative, a gastroenterologist only brought in to vote on BPC 157, a dermatologist brought in to vote on KPV and TB 500 only, 2 neurologists brought in to vote on Samax, and a pain management and addiction specialist to vote on DSIP because it's not, there's no on-label use, but the off-label use for DSIP is to minimize opioid withdrawal symptoms, and it works very well for that anecdotally. And then a pharmacologist to vote on all of them. He specializes in pharmacokinetics. So yeah, that's who's going to be in the house.
They were added, like within the last day or two, right?
Within the last 48 hours, yeah.
My worry before they were added, if you looked at the roster from a few days ago, is that it was all business owners, which, you know, as a business owner, not always a bad thing, but when you're talking about people who have the ability to get asked to come to these type of events, my worry is that, like, you know, again, pharmaceutical lobby is a multi-billion-dollar industry. I was worried if they were going to try to do some sort of restriction where, like, compounding pharmacies can only purchase from a list of providers, which are going to be Pfizer, you know, like all these crazy companies. And if that did happen, again, that, you know, it would still be good for the RUO industry. The other thing that's a big question is if it's off-label prescription, insurance isn't going to cover it. So you'll still have the same situation where people want, you know, they've been prescribed something, they want access to this, and their insurance won't cover it. The compounding pharmacies, as you know, as honorable as those guys are, they got to make money as well. So we're going to have a very similar situation to other research products where people want it, they can't afford it, they're going to look for it elsewhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with that. With that telehealth, if this goes through and they become available, I figure the telehealth market with these peptides will establish a new floor. So people will be more comfortable going down the route of getting it prescribed through a clinician. But they'll probably pay the extra fees, you know, seeing a doctor and everything. So it'll probably push research peptides, push more business or more traffic that way because it's a more affordable, easier to approach route.
Yeah, you'll see people like Roe, like the big names, the publicly traded telehealth companies that get into it hard. And they're probably not gonna be charging the same thing that other RUO companies charge. They're gonna charge $400 for BPC. They're gonna charge $1,000 for NAD if that ever gets approved. You know, like, so they're gonna start charging these crazy prices. And again, the conversation will be out there, more people will be talking about it. The RUO industry will thrive. Yeah. As long as we can accept credit cards somehow.
Right. Yeah. Right. I agree with that 1,000%. I mean, because you think about the big companies like Roe and Mochi and stuff, and if they're able to prescribe these things, they're the ones that can actually advertise on like a massive scale. And that just brings more spotlight to these peptides. And people are going to go, I wonder if I can find PPC somewhere else that's cheaper, that I can just do it on my own. And for the research world, that will actually make it a little better for us and keep business alive. And hopefully, like you said, it will make the credit card companies go, okay, maybe these things aren't so bad. And we can get a little bit more, you know, we can allow a little bit more of these credit card or these RUO spaces to have access to credit card processing, which to me, and I'm sure you all probably agree with me, is the biggest problem in the RUO space. I mean, it is brutal out there to get a credit card processor that is trustworthy and reliable, and that we can, you know, you guys can use your credit cards to purchase our products. And yeah, I think if they vote yes on this, this is great. I think if they vote no as well, I still don't think it's the end of the world. We just go back to the way it was. But I do think that this won't be the last of the meetings that we have. I think there will be more meetings. There will be more public outcry. I was seeing the videos today of everybody in Silver Spring, Maryland, which is where they're having the meeting. And there were a lot of people out there, you know, showing their support and, you know, having their picket signs and saying, you know, in favor of it. And I think you got to give the people what they want. And if this is what they want, then why are we, you know, I always go back to acetaminophen, like, you know, which is like Tylenol, which is the #1 drug for liver failure, and you can literally buy that by the thousands at Costco for like $20. And it's just like, you have a pill out there you can literally buy over the counter in any drugstore and get acute liver failure. I'm telling you right now, there's no peptides out there that are doing that. I mean, I'm sure there's a one-off case every now and then where somebody has like a bad reaction, but that's with anything. And these things need to be accessible to people. And I think, and people want it. It's not bad for you. It's kind of like the whole testosterone got bad juju for years and years and years and years. And now everybody's like, you know what? Testosterone's not that bad. Maybe we should make it available to more people and lessen the regulations and the restrictions on it. Our hope is that peptides are heading the same way.
Well, here's a question for that I just thought of as soon as you mentioned testosterone. I mean, you're right. Testosterone used to have a horrible rap 10 years ago. And then even getting a prescription from your doctor would be nearly impossible. But now testosterone, Ro will sell to you for $100 a month, I think, or 150. So obviously the pricing of that has gone down. Do you feel like that could happen in this space? I mean, it's not like the API is very expensive to import from an FDA greenlit facility in China.
Sure.
So, they might pay double the price, but it's still not expensive at the end of the day. These big compounding companies and pharmacies and clinicians and the people who prescribe everything, there's a good chance that they could just come out and say, you know what, we'll sell it for $100 a month because they lock in that customer and it's still profitable. Yeah,
I think competition drives prices lower. That's just the reality of the world that we live in. If you make these things more accessible, more people, less regulations, more companies open, drives competition, prices get lower. So I think ultimately it's a good thing for everybody else, because we have a lot of expenses, testing, credit card processors just drive, take an arm and a leg from you every single time you do a transaction. And if there's more competition out there, I think it will ultimately drive prices lower for everybody.
It could be really good for consumers. I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll also increase safety. You'll have people having to compete with, with the compounding pharmacies for safety, for COAs. They're going to want to see more proof. I think the analogy to testosterone, it's not the best, but I can see where you're going with that. And the reason I say it's not the best is because, for example, BPC 157, according to the federal government, has no recognized human use. There's no therapeutic use for that. Same thing with like TB 500. What are the other ones on the list? MOTS,
MOTS-C, Samax, Epithalin.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And we know contrary to that, but according to them, there is no recognized therapeutic use for any of these compounds. I think if they say no doesn't mean no. No doesn't mean like, okay, now this is Schedule 1, like it's crack. No, that's not what's going to happen. No will probably mean no, it needs further study. So then you might see some academic trials on things. You're going to see maybe some government funding for trials on these things, because trials can cost hundreds of millions of dollars. This is one of the justifications that the pharmaceutical industry uses to justify paying, charging $1,000 for a pen of a certain chemical we won't talk about, because they say, we all know how much one of those pens costs at the pharmacy. 10 cents to manufacture, things like that. Their justification is that the second one cost 10 cents, the first one cost $800 million in research costs. So if the government subsidizes some of the research trials on these things, even if it's after a no, that's amazing for the industry. That's amazing for everybody. It's great for just healthcare in this country. So I think no matter if it's a yes, a no, but those are great. I don't anticipate there's any scenario where they say no, absolutely no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love where this conversation is going. The FDA also, just to bring it back to something specific to the meeting, appears to have matched several temporary experts to specific medical uses it chooses to evaluate. So basically what that means is each thing, as I said before, each compound at this meeting is being pitched or presented for a specific thing to treat. It's not just like BPC 157 does all this stuff and like one of us did like, you know, like Cam does a video on BPC 157 on all the benefits of it and it can be like 10 minutes long. Like they're not looking at all of that. What they're looking at is they need a specific thing and a cause and effect that it works. So BPC 157, for example, is being evaluated strictly for ulcerative colitis. KPV and TB500 are being evaluated strictly for wound healing. Samax is being evaluated for neurological conditions. They weren't more specific on that when I was doing research. And then amaldetide, DSIP, is being evaluated for opioid withdrawal, insomnia, and I'm sorry, narcolepsy. Thank you. So, Cam, do you want to jump in? Sorry.
No, you're good. Let's see. I'm trying to read our list of questions here to see where we can ping pong next.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the question is like with no actual human data or very limited human data with these compounds, it's like, I mean, to me, it almost feels like they're kind of setting these compounds up to fail in the meeting specifically. Like, again, with BPC being looked at for ulcerative colitis in humans specifically, like that's not really been clinically investigated. And to kind of go back to, I believe, Matt, your question of, or not necessarily your question, but your statement of, you know, it might lead to more studies. I mean, then the question is, you know, obviously who ends up funding those, right? Is it a government-based thing or is some company going to shell out millions and millions of dollars to actually run studies? I mean, that's the hard part, right? So a question in there, where is the question? I don't really have one. I guess it's more so just like, how do they evaluate the claims that these compounds are being brought towards, but there's nothing actually to prove whether or not they work in humans. There's not, like, what do we go off of, right? I mean, cell dishes or petri dish models and animals. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's gonna be kind of tough. I feel like it's almost not that it can't work. Just it just doesn't feel like it feels like they're kind of bringing them with the idea that they know that there's not a lot of information in humans specifically, almost like they know that they kind of have us and they can kind of make it not go. You know what I mean? So what do you guys think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one is gonna, nobody is gonna pump millions and millions of dollars into something that they can't, that's not proprietary. Like anybody can go out there and grab and get peptides, or, you know, nobody's going to do that. If they can't own it, they're not going to do it. So I don't know. That's my
HHS grants are the only way this would get done correctly. Like if the federal government subsidized an academic institution to perform an empirical study, that's probably the only way this would be done legit. Because like everybody's saying, if they can't make money off of it, they're not going to dump money into it. So these aren't patentable as far as I know. The delivery devices can be patented. So if they come up with a novel delivery device, cool, then they'll be able to make money off of it. I think academic studies on these things would be amazing. Like a lot of the studies that we have are incomplete. The first thing that comes to mind is like BPC with its angiogenesis properties in cancer. I would love to see empirical evidence that it doesn't actually do anything cancer related. But yeah, everybody's right. Like there's no private company that would dedicate resources to this if they can't recuperate. So I think literally the next step is if they want more studies, it's going to have to be HHS grants. So that means everybody's going to have to write letters to their legislators.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a huge political, shindig. It's basically, if the people want it and they want it available, people need to write to their legislatives and say, hey, listen. First of all, there's so much. Okay, there's no human clinical data. I get it. Like we were all kind of touching on, in this conversation, that nobody's going to shell out millions and millions of dollars to get this through phase 3 trials. But I think what we need to prove is that it's not harmful. So I think a lot of the FDA scientists are coming on board saying, listen, we don't know if this is actually safe for humans to use. Even though the preclinical trials, typically in these preclinical trials, what they do is they give these rats or mice massive amounts of doses just to make sure that it's not going to like kill them right away or harm them in any way. We just haven't done that in humans yet. I think if there was a certain use case for these peptides, that a pharmaceutical company could recuperate all their money on and make a bunch of money on, they would do it. The problem is that, it might heal, like BPC 157 is a great compound, don't get me wrong, but it's nowhere near like a retatrutide, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that out loud. It's nowhere near like an R or a T, which can literally make people drop 20, 30% of their body weight. It's first drug of its kind ever. And that is a multi-billion dollar, industry right there. I think they need to prove to them, the advisory board, is that these things are safe. And the only way to really prove that they're safe is to actually get human clinical, studies done on them. Because there are a lot of peptides out there that have not made it through, FDA phase 3 trials and have been patented and approved, that are still prescribable by these med spas and telehealth companies. It's just that these are kind of like, they theoretically, BPC 157 with your malignancies and everything else could theoretically make something, larger or grow larger. We just need to go out there and prove to them that it doesn't do that. Let's be honest, BPC has been around for years and there's tons of people that have used it, and there's no, use cases out there that have shown, at least to my knowledge, that it actually is harmful to people. So I think they're going to most likely be reviewing safety issues with these compounds instead of their actual use cases.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the main thing to determine is safety, right? Because if it just becomes accessible and it's safe, can they overlook the direct applications that have to be required for these compounds? Because again, like we said, there's just not going to be trials on them. It's just not going to happen. So if we're not able to prove what it heals, we're at least able to prove safety, right? And then at that point, are they able to then push it through? Sort of like, vitamins and minerals that you could pick up from the grocery store. It's sort of the same concept at that point. Like they're not necessarily FDA approved, but if they do come to find out that they're making either false claims or they end up being extremely dangerous for whatever reason, then, that's where they would maybe step in and get them removed. But that's kind of like that's kind of where I see it right now. Obviously, it's much different. There's a phenomenon with injecting. People love the injectable, and I think that brings a certain level of scrutiny to it compared to popping a pill. But that's a personal take there. I think that there's just more scrutiny in this space for that for sure.
I think just like how they do psilocybin and MDMA treatments for veterans for PTSD and stuff like that. It'd be interesting to see like peptide therapies or like applied clinical trials on that demographic of the patients. So maybe that could be another avenue they could go down, but
Yeah, definitely.
Because that
See that too.
it would qualify them for more government grants, I think, too. Just by
And VA
citing-
would cover it, maybe. You'd actually have VA paying for it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's great. That's a great idea, Cal. We covered so much. We talked about how this could affect credit card processing. Are we worried about the existence of RUO as we know it? I think that is what the hot button question people is like, what is happening here?
No.
I don't think the focus has ever been on that. I mean, even if you look at a lot of the FDA letters regarding RUO, the only time the FDA has ever cited an RUO website, or even, I'm assuming, Matt, when you talked about that doctor, it's when they're doing human use or they're marketing human use. Like I've gone through every single FDA letter to every single peptide company I could find. And it's when you start talking or marketing about human use, and that's when the FDA comes after you. So, I mean, granted, I guess there's no precedence for it yet, where the FDA just comes after somebody if they're just selling RUO peptides without marketing it for humans. So, I mean, for now, I feel like the RUO space is fairly safe. That could always change, though. I'm just saying right now, I don't feel like there's precedence for it.
RUO is safe. If I can jump in. So I don't know if anybody else here has ever received an FDA letter. Got mine in January 2024. And the reason we got it is because we were including dosing instructions.
For Helix, right?
Yeah, Helix. Yeah.
For Helix.
And we did the responsible thing and we shut down. So yeah, as long as you're not piercing that veil of human use, you're selling it exclusively for research purposes, not for human, veterinary, agricultural use, then you're treading that line, and that's it. Like, there's going to be like this silly line that everybody has to tread, but that's the game we play. The one thing, and I don't know, you said that you were Shay, is it, or Shy? I don't remember. Shay. You said you were reading the warning letters. What's your opinion on all the backwater that they were citing in the last batch of? So basically, they were saying that even though you were not talking about any sort of human usage, the fact that you're selling lyophilized peptides alongside bacteriostatic water indicates that it is meant to be injectable for human or veterinary use. That was surprising. I did not expect that. Anybody hear about that?
Yeah, no, you're right. So I think of the last batch that went out in May to, I mean, even some popular creators in TikTok, it did cite the backwater for, I think, the majority of them, if not all of them. I mean, when I looked at their website, so one, none of those websites prior to those letters were ever gated. So none of them ever had the researcher disclaimer saying you have to check mark off this and verify that. So none of them had that, first of all. Second of all, I think a lot of them were promoting the backwater in checkout, saying, hey, don't forget to add backwater in checkout. I think that was another issue that a lot of them faced, is that they were basically saying, hey, you need this backwater, don't forget it, which I think is a big issue in the space, because if you're saying you need it, then you're implying human use. It's not impossible for a research-based website to sell bacteriostatic water, phosphate buffered saline, acetic acid, or any other types of liquids. I mean, they do need them in a lot of these research settings. I think not advertising the backwater as something you need or has to be an add-on is something we need to stay away from. I mean, all those websites, I think a lot of them actually sold oral pills or capsules or sprays. None of those were cited. So the question is, does the FDA look for drops? Do they look for pills? Do they look for sprays? Right now, there's not any precedence for it. But you're right. That could always change. And that was the first time we did see any type of mention for bacteriostatic water in any of the FDA letters. Prior to that, it was just the marketing for human use, showing bodybuilders or fitness or citing weight loss and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know why they sent out that batch. Like, again, pharma lobby, billions of dollars. They got to sweep up a group every once in a while. But the backwater was surprising.
Yeah.
So
That's like their new hot topic right now, is backwater.
Yeah. So we have about 15 minutes left. So this is when we're going to start reading from the chat. So Cam and I are going to scan the chat and get questions from the people. All right.
Yeah.
Have you seen any that have come in so far, Cam?
No, I mean, I've been glazing over it. I haven't, nothing yet. Just a lot of gifts. You guys are so giving. Look at how grateful. I'm super grateful. Yeah, look at you guys. I'm trying to scroll back up a little bit and see if I can find something.
Kay Steen has a good one. Thoughts on final say being HHS/FDA versus a PCAC review and potential lawsuits down the line? we worried about lawsuits down the line?
I mean, for as far as like if it was approved and prescribable, compoundable, that would be. So you will notice if that's a concern based upon the testimony of the Association of Compounding Pharmacies. There is a representative there from the Association for Compounding Pharmacies. They will actually tell us if that's a concern or not. If they're not worried about that, then they're not worried about that. But as far as like RUO, that's not an issue, but because it's not for human use. Yeah, so I'm very interested in seeing this. And just so everybody knows, there is a live stream if you're not watching. Like there is a live stream available on the FDA website.
Mm-hmm. Panama Red wants to know from all of you, what is your most trusted stateside testing lab? That's a good one.
Okay, so I'm sorry to jump in so quickly. So I've tested out the gambit of labs. Obviously, we got some hate for that because people were like, why are you testing out for so many labs? It's because nobody could keep up. And obviously, nobody could do all the testing that we could do. I will say, after trying out so many different labs, my favorite by far is Freedom. I've tried, the ones I've tried are Freedom, ILS, Covera, AFI, Chromate. I sent off a small batch of Yanoshik. Let me think of anybody else. Bioregion we used in the beginning as well. And I will say Freedom has been the best overall. I think I've caught one mistake from them, which I got double tested, and I sent back to Freedom, and Freedom confirmed their mistake. So I would say Freedom is by far the best. I felt like one lab, everything was 99.9%, which it felt uneasy to me, and I was like, that doesn't feel good. It can't all be 99.9%. ILS was really good too, but they're just so backed up right now. So Freedom, I think they've always been the gold standard along with Yanoshik. Yanoshik is just a slow turnaround, and they're not in the US, so it just takes a while to get stuff to them.
And I'm not super comfortable sending samples across international borders personally. So
It's super easy. I do it all the time.
All the time.
I also, because of my previous endeavors, I don't have access to.
Do it all the time.
All the time.
I also, because of my previous endeavors, I don't have access to global entry anymore. I don't have access to a certain thing. So I try not to piss off the government as much as I can. But to tack on, yeah, Freedom, 100%, hands down, great quality. I know I can trust it. Like that's really what it comes down to. It's traceable to their website, and they're fast. Which matters probably more to us than it does to you. But when we're sold out of things, yeah, it matters to you as well. ILS is great, but again, I love their layout. I love their technology, but slow. My goodness, they're just backed up. Maybe once they, that they handle that backlog, and maybe they develop a few more systems to test things concurrently versus in serial, it'll be faster. But as of right now, gold standard, and I think we can all agree, gold standard is probably Freedom.
Yeah, I think a lot of the ILS, one of their issues is obviously building the methodology. Every time you're testing something new, to build out that methodology and figure it out is not that simple of a process. Most people think you just throw it into an HPLC and you see where the chromatograph reads it, and that's what it is. And it's not that simple. And I think that's what a lot of ILS's initial issues were, is they're getting so many different types of peptides that they have to build that methodology and sample for it first. Yeah. And once again, I will go back to Freedom. The reason I do say Freedom now is because they can do all of the 7 tests that we're looking for. Granted, are most of these going to fail? No. But I appreciate the 7X testing because my opinion is, if you can do it, why wouldn't you? And everything that's compounded in the actual FDA space does have all those tests plus more. Will it fail? Sterility and heavy metals and endotoxins and all that stuff? Not often. Endotoxins, you have to have a ridiculous amount of endotoxins for it to actually hurt the human body. But once again, if you can do it, why not?
Mm-hmm. And you're not wrong. A new testing column for a new chemical, thousands of dollars, and not. It takes a bit. Back in 2024, when Biolabs, MZ Biolabs was all backed up, I actually contracted Actilis Labs here in New York to create a testing column for us. Each chemical was $6,000, and it took about 2 to 3 weeks because you had to buy reference samples from like a known chemical manufacturer here in the United States. Not cheap. And if ILS is just building up their testing columns, I'm hoping this is a temporary thing. As they build them and they add them into their system, hopefully it'll alleviate. But starting on, it's a little slow.
It's a lot, yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Brooks said, what's the biggest challenge going to be for RUO if it's no longer payment processing?
Oh my gosh. So right now we have what, like 30 new peptide companies a day. Not talking smack about it because I mean, ION's only a year old, but if payment processing became easy, you could see that number go up to like 1,000 a day, probably.
Yeah,
That's true.
true. I do agree with that.
Yeah, that's the one barrier of entry we all have. Payment
Yeah.
processing.
I feel like I'm like the village elder here. I've been doing this since 2022, and we've always had problems, but not the way it is now. Like it's just crazy. MasterCard just completely obliterating everybody. Everybody with the WorldPay debacle, they handed out Brams like crazy. So if you're not on the match list, you are now. So we're just going to see more people restricted from starting new places, or, and this is the big or, you're going to see all these new fly-by-nights using shady sources. They're going to start using like stealth technology to stealth up a Stripe gateway, and you're putting your credit card at risk. So you're better off going with a company that that has reliable credit card processing. These new guys, I don't know if I can trust like if their payment systems are legit, if they are SOC 2, if they are secure. I've heard anecdotal evidence of other of people purchasing from another provider, and now their credit card's getting all sorts of charges. I'm not trying to cause a scare or anything like that. I'm just saying you trust your provider not just for the products, but for the delivery of those products and how you go about the journey from start to purchase to receiving and then the care afterwards. Do not pay in gift cards, Pep Boys. Do not do anything like that. Bitcoin, please do not. Just go with a reputable purveyor, a reputable provider that you know. And if they don't have credit cards, either wait a little bit or figure out what other options they have. We always have ACH. We always have like some P2P transfers. You can do Venmo, Cash App, until they shut you down. But there's always a method. But I think everybody here can agree. This is a little under the hood of the industry. The hardest thing in this industry is converting your product into dollars. Hands down. Like that's probably the hardest thing to do. So there will never be a solution for that until these things are completely legit. Until then, we're all fighting the same battle.
Yeah, I think it's on the consensus too that if you all can and you are able to try to figure out another way to use, to pay other than credit card, because credit card is the most unreliable thing that we deal with in this industry. So if you can pay another way like Venmo, Zelle, ACH, try to do that because it does help us out. We get charged exorbitant amounts of money for each transaction, and those will be the most reliable for you, just sitting there waiting for you to make your payment so you can get your product.
Yeah. Matt just talked about WorldPay. I mean, so yeah, just some background information. I think 18 different peptide companies went down because of that processing nightmare, including ION. But granted, we have a number of different mids and solutions, so that didn't really affect us. But I mean, in terms of how risky that is for the space and why you're saying you should use ACH or whatever else it may be, I mean, for us alone, that was right over the July 4th weekend, and they were probably 40% or so of our processing. I mean, with reserves, keep in mind, they keep $250,000 just in a reserve. I mean, we've got nearly $1 million just sitting there that we don't know if we'll ever see it, if it'll come to us in 6 months, a year, 2 years. It's just stuck. Mm-hmm. And so that's part of the fear in this space when people are paying with credit cards. I mean, the vendors themselves are taking these massive risks. And that's not the first time this has happened. I have now had this year alone, I think 6 or 7 processors go down.
No.
And a number of them are still holding my money from February and March, actually January too. Mm-hmm. So it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, that's why it's so funny when I hear people like, "Oh, I should start a peptide company." You guys are just printing money. You have no idea like how hard this is.
No, we have a lot of money being held by other people that we don't know if we'll ever see again.
Yeah, that's part of the cost of business. So people are saying, "Hey, you guys are price gouging. You gotta work in the expected loss in terms of your revenue, obviously, because we just assume our entire reserve is gone. That's 10%, and then we assume probably another 10% is going to be gone just from processors failing.
Yeah, and they gouge you on fees too. So even if everything's working copacetically, you're losing 10% to the reserve, and you're losing anywhere from 5 to 15%. I've seen some people charging in fees. And just for reference, for you who don't know, a normal credit card transaction is 2.9% and 30 cents, not 10 to 15% like the RUO does.
Yeah, we are not getting anywhere near 2.9. That's for sure. With no reserve.
Never.
Not even close.
If you are, you're doing some sort of sketchy, stripe cloaking thing.
Yeah, you're cloaking or something.
Yeah.
All right, Sammy C asks, are you concerned about customs being more strict in the future or the U.S. labs being shut down?
I'm not. I've been doing this for a while. Like we have a pretty solid logistics chain. When the tariffs came out, we were doing triangular shipping through Canada. I'm not worried about any of this stuff, honestly. Customs, if anybody's been paying attention to the seizures, customs is seizing specific products more often. Like, you'll see the HEH fragments like AOD, you'll see Tessa, like those are getting stopped at the border way more often. But if you've been doing this long enough, and I feel like everybody here has been doing this long enough, like you shored up your supply chain.
Yeah, I agree. I think there will always be seizures and stuff, but it's just there's way too many packages coming in overseas for U.S. Customs to seize literally everything. It's impossible. So that's my take on that.
The gray market people who are buying 10 packs at a time, those guys are going to have trouble. Those are the ones they inspect and they catch the whole thing.
I agree. It's the smaller packages. Yep. The smaller packages that are going to have the issue. I feel like you're right. I mean, I think we've got our logistics down pretty well in terms of how we're shipping products in, making sure their customs paperwork looks good. So yeah, I mean, that's obviously that's another part of just the industry itself, and for startups, that's something they have to pay attention to. But once you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing for the most part.
Part of the value that vendors like us bring to the table, like you're going to get quality, you're going to have consistent deliveries. We're going to have product.
Yeah, and in terms of, I think Sam said he was asking about if does he mean like are the lyophilizers and the companies manufacturing the peptides or taking the API? They're not manufacturing the API here, but is he saying are they going to get shut down, or what's he referring to? Yeah. I mean, I don't see anybody getting shut down in terms of actually lyophilizing peptides in the U.S., especially selling it under the research use only umbrella. Once again, as long as you're not marketing it for human use, there's just no precedence for it. I don't see why they would get shut down.
Yep, exactly.
That's, I think, the next question Shelby's asking, and I think you just answered it, but are you concerned in any way that the FDA will shut down your company?
I mean, there's always a non-zero chance. What we do as business owners is we try to bring that number as close to zero as possible. We try to follow the rules as much as we can, while still taking care to provide researchers with the quality products that they need. On a long enough timeline, if nothing changes, we all run into trouble. That's what it comes down to. What we're doing is doing everything we can to minimize breaking any rules. So I appreciate people, like Caitlin, who inform you all and keep you, knowledgeable about all these things. But yeah, like if the FDA wants you, they're coming for you. And by the time you get that letter, they've been investigating you for 9 months already.
Yeah, definitely. Exactly.
See if we can find any more.
Yeah.
They're mostly just talking amongst themselves. It seems as if we have bored them with all this legal talk. Just kidding.
Miss Troubles is worried that things will cost as much as Lilly Direct.
No.
No.
Lilly
Direct is trying to maximize their profit because they got shareholders. I don't think anybody here is publicly traded.
No. Yeah. They have a lot more overhead too. I mean, their overhead is crazy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, Lilly is spending hundreds of millions of dollars, up to billions of dollars on these clinical trials. None of us have that type of overhead. I mean, I don't know if the entire RUO space combined does $1 billion annually right now. I mean, it probably does actually, but still, yeah, no, Lilly is dropping hundreds of millions to billions of dollars on each of these clinical trials.
Rest in peace, peptide science.
Yeah. Yeah, peptide science.
Aw.
RIP, right? They're gone. Right?
That's it. That's what I was like, the only one I could think of that could possibly afford that were those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Keister says, and this is a fun question. It's not a fun question, but it's a funny question. What's your biggest loss on non-vendor refunded PEPs because you found bad PEPs when you tested?
0. I get them replaced by my synthesis lab for free.
Yeah, I mean, I think my vendors are really good overall. I will say, if they would not have replaced it, I probably had a batch of SS31 that was, I mean, we buy very large batches. It was probably $250,000, but they replaced it.
No, you develop a relationship with these synthesis labs, and they want to maintain that relationship with people like us. So honestly, you guys buying direct from overseas is way riskier than us.
Yeah. Way riskier. Yeah, we get everything replaced if it tests bad. So and that's just part of finding a very good, legitimate, synthesizer. And I think everybody here is probably in the same boat.
All right. What is there's the combo of 2 questions. Ryan said, where do you see the future of PEPs next year and in 5 years?
Thriving.
So before I ever entered this space, I think it was February of last year when I was doing research on the RUO space. I used ChatGPT as my consultant when I was asking it a bunch of questions. And I was like, where do you see the space? And I will tell you that I feel like ChatGPT has been pretty spot on so far. It said that, now I don't know if this will be the case, but I'm just telling you what I feel and what ChatGPT did say. It said that it could follow the same trajectory as supplements in general did. That back in the 90s and early 2000s, supplements were heavily regulated. I mean, they couldn't get credit card processing either, really. And I mean, still, they still struggle a little bit depending on what type of supplement they're selling. But that they eventually became very mainstream. And I mean, now things like creatine are promoted just for daily use and things like that. So it felt that peptides in the RUO space would kind of follow that same trajectory. And I feel like I'm seeing that myself, especially with the FDA talking about it, obviously creating some type of regulation, because there's no good framework for access right now. I mean, especially with the gray market, we don't know what's being tested, what's not being tested, if people are putting the right things in their bodies or not putting the right things in their bodies. I mean, it is extremely unregulated, and I don't blame the FDA for wanting to create some type of framework around it. But I think as you build that framework, it just brings more validity to the industry, and it'll just become more mainstream and at the forefront of everything. I mean, this could become the next supplement industry for all intents and purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that the industry is thriving. You guys are talking about it. How many of you in the chat, like, how many of you knew about peptides 5 years ago? Like, I feel like that number has increased exponentially over the last 5 years. I think people also see what's going on with healthcare. So I think a lot of people are taking it into their own hands. Of course, we all sell research use only, but there are people who there are people who do, how do I say this, DIY healthcare. There's the people who will go to the fish store to buy penicillin because it's cheaper and it's the same exact thing. Peptides, we know the efficacy. Like, people who are not me have done research on BPC, on TB500, all these things, and we have our own anecdotal evidence. The problem is we need empirical evidence. That's what we need. And like we've talked about on this chat, if it's not coming from the government, there's really no large corporation that's going to pay for a phase 1, 2, 3 trial to get these things proven. Maybe that's a crowdfund that someone can start. Who knows? But yeah, I don't think this is going anywhere. I think this is going to explode. I think if we all make our voices heard, we have the potential to enact change in the U.S.
Yep.
Cam, did you have any
Definitely.
last minute questions, even ones that you had?
No questions I had specifically. My light just died. Nothing I had specifically. I'm trying to see if there's any other good ones that can still come in, but
There's still.
no, I think a lot of great stuff was covered here. I think that a lot of very informative stuff was covered. Yeah, no, nothing else. Unless you have something else.
I think there was the one that we both really liked. I think it would be a good one to wrap up on. Is tomorrow's meeting really about 7 individual peptides, or is it about establishing how the whole consumer evaluates compounded peptides going forward?
I can't remember the FDA talking about BPC, TB500 in a non-negative way, ever.
Right.
So the fact that they're even having this conversation, I feel like is progress. We'll see what the results are. We're not going to see the results for the next, it's not going to happen in the next 2 days. It's going to take a while for this conversation to broaden, but the conversation is happening. And I think that right there, massive step forward from where it was 3 years ago, 10 years ago. So I've seen a few comments in the chat of like, should the FDA really be involved in this? The FDA is responsible for protecting the overall health of Americans and people inside America. So they regulate bread, they regulate bleach, and any chemical that can be used in some way, either on your skin, in your body. So as much as I'm not a fan of how the FDA does business, we need them. We need them to do the job that they are doing. I just think that there has been a lot of propaganda in the past around these things, around these products, because of pharmaceutical lobbyists. That's really where I stand. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's pretty logical that the people who stand to lose the most money are the people who will fight against it the most.
Yeah, that seems to track. That information tracks. Yeah,
That's definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, and the FDA did choose 7 of the most popular peptides. And I think the fact of the matter that they chose these 7 peptides says that this is like a legitimate case for them. I mean, this is not them just throwing something together. I feel like they're seeing that these are very mainstream peptides. And while there's not any real true human use or clinical data, I mean, even in Russia, I guess the Samax, I mean, that's more so nasal sprays, Epitalin. There's not that much human use data globally, regardless of all of them. But the fact that they're even listening to an advisory committee tells me that they do care. They do see a future in it. And they're listening to what potentially Americans want. But like I said, yeah, they definitely want to build that framework just to make sure that access is regulated and we're not out there killing ourselves, doing dumb stuff.
Lauren, I just want to add something. You're saying DSIP was an odd one. I don't think so. I think DSIP has shown a lot of benefits to opiate addiction. And I think that's an overseen and overlooked aspect of DSIP. So I think that makes perfect sense, actually.
One thing that people keep asking in the chat, like 7 people have asked it, are you worried, anyone here, if the court decides to grant retatrutide status as a biologic, that you will no longer be able to carry it as an RUO? Kind of like what happened with SS31.
I think if you get on Lilly or Novo Nordisk's shit list and they tell you to take it down, you just take it down. So I don't know if that would necessarily be an FDA thing, because I can assure you, I feel like Lilly, well, in this case it would be Lilly for Retta, they would be the ones setting C&Ds out immediately. And I don't think you play with them. Just my opinion. If we ever receive a letter from them, just take it off.
And to kind of go off of that too, I think that if that is the case, research use peptide companies are going to be on the bottom of their list. They're going to go for telehealth companies that can literally advertise this stuff for human use and make, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Kind of like how they're going after the research use or the telehealth companies now, like Mochi and Hims and Hers, and they're going to go after those companies first before they come after the research use space, just because they have the ability to advertise for human use, and they can get on a global scale doing that.
But also, it's a dangerous strategy going after those guys, because those are the ones that can afford to fight them. And one of the worst things, one of the worst outcomes for the drug companies is setting a precedent. They don't want to go to court and then they set a precedent against the pharmaceutical industry. One of my attorneys is begging me to get in trouble because he wants to take this to the Supreme Court. So as much as like the Hims and Hers and the Mochis and the Rose are the bellwether, those are the guys that can fight it. So if they do wind up going after those guys, and they will, because they are the most seen of all of them.
Yeah, they already are too.
Right. Those are the ones that I'd be very interested to see how they push back.
So,
yeah, I agree.
All right, gang. I think we kind of covered it. So if everyone wants to I want to thank you all so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. I know you're all very busy people. Owning peptide companies is not for people who love sleep, as I know from knowing all of you very well. So I just want, for the people at home, if we could go around and just each of you can say your name and what your company is again, just for the people who might have came in late. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Once again, I'm Shay from ION. Appreciate you so much, Caitlin, CDJ, for hosting this. It was a lot of fun. And obviously just meeting a lot of the peptide owners I've never met and seeing them face to face. I appreciate you for putting this on, and everybody else in the viewers just for answering or asking the questions and participating. So thank you all.
Coach Cam, Amenable USA, co-host as well. And as always, it's always a pleasure. It's a ton of fun being a part of these things. And it's always fun to be able to put these things on. I don't do a lot of work for it. Caitlin does all the heavy lifting. I'm just a face that talks. So I take no credit at all, but I do appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out. And it's always a blast. And it's definitely nice to meet people I haven't met before. So it's a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, I'm Will with PURUS Peptides, also known as the Pep Enthusiast, and just like thank everybody for coming out. And the real person that doesn't sleep is Caitlin. Caitlin doesn't sleep at all. She does lives all the time, day, night, morning, doesn't matter. And yeah, thanks for having me. You always invite me to everything, so I do appreciate it.
I'm Julia from PURUS Peptides, also Julia Amino Glow. I am the sister of Will, and we own PURUS Peptides. And I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to say Caitlin never sleeps. She works harder than anybody I know. But it was so nice to meet all of you guys here tonight. And thank you to everybody who joined us. It was amazing and great conversation.
I'm Cal with ORBITREX PEPTIDES. CDJ, thanks for having me on. The community you've built is amazing. You guys are all amazing. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
No, you guys are great. I think we should do this like once a month. Cam, I've been trying to meet you forever, so I'm glad we actually.
Yeah, it's nice to finally meet, man.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know this about Caitlin. I'm going to blow up her spot. She is pretty new to this. Like, it's only the last few years, and she was so against ever doing TikTok. Like, she was so against. She's like, I don't want to do TikTok. I can't do TikTok. Look at you now. You're doing amazing, and you're providing a valuable service. So yeah, I'm Matt from Felix Chemical Supply, formerly Helix Chemical Supply. That's why it's Felix, formerly Helix. It's been great chatting with you all. I love the questions that you all been asking. Like I said, I think we should do this more often. If there is any bombshell announcement from the resulting of these meetings, I think we should regroup and discuss it. It's great meeting y'all, and I hope you have a great night.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Someone was complimenting that Will looks so tan.
MT2.
MT2 maxing, bro.
That's right. I'm trying to look snacks like the young guys. Like
Cam. Keep up with them, bro. I can't keep up with them these days, man.
That's inside jokes from Will making fun of my MT1 use. So, yeah.
That's funny.
And Pepper Fam, thank you guys so much for all showing up and sitting here. I think our max viewers tonight was 281 people at one time. Our total viewers were 2,144 people who saw us all over the course of the hour and change. And it's all because of you guys, you sharing the live, liking the live, sending the gifts, getting the word out. It really means everything. I am just so humbled and awed by how you guys identify as Pepper Fam and mobilize. Like, it's pretty nuts. Like, on Monday night, I had 9,950 followers. And I was like, I think by Thursday I'll get to 10K. And someone named Lauren in the chat was like, we're going to do it tonight. And they went nuts. We did it on Monday night. So my Pepper Fam, if you guys ever need anything, they can do anything. Anything.
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
Nothing is out of their reach. It's pretty amazing. And for those of you who don't know, we also have a disco that has almost 1,500 people. Pepper Fam, it's a community where we all get to be like-minded, positive, sharing the science, and finding out about all things peptides. So check that out. And please give a follow to everyone except Matt, because he's on my backup account. I guess you could follow that one too. But
I just created a TikTok, so I'm still not approved for live. Like, I'm such a boomer, I swear. I think we're Felix Chem 7. Like, I think that's what we are, TikTok. We got to rename it at some point.
yeah. So,
Cool.
but yeah, check out the actual Felix account once it's all up and going. And you guys are the best Pepper Fam. So thank you all so much. I appreciate my panelists. I appreciate my co-host. You do a lot more than you think, Cam.
I'm just here. I'm just here.
You bring in the crowds, Cam. You bring in the crowds. What are you
Well, if
talking
I can
about?
help it that way, that's fine. I'm more than happy to bring in some familiar faces, but you do the heavy lifting. I'm just here. I'm just here to answer some questions or maybe ask some, maybe.
Yeah.
I appreciate being a part of it. I love it. I'll be here every single time. I'll never miss it.
Yeah. So thank you all so very much. And have a good night. Now I'm just going to probably hang for a little bit, but you guys are with we're done now.
Get out of here.
Yeah, whatever.
Awesome.
You know, I'm just hanging. You guys are your formal obligation is fulfilled.
I never do this, so I'm just kind of chilling.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't thank Fort Worth. Guys, Fort Worth and Sean and Lauren and Mama Crip and I'm forgetting someone. Chrissy Joe. I just got to thank my mods and Coffee Queen. Got to thank all my mods for keeping us safe in the chat and blocking all the spammers, and they don't look like they want to leave. We muted.
I feel like I'm going to miss something. Yeah.
They muted half of TikTok. Did Coffee Queen mean to call him Fartworth? No, that's his nickname on the inside. Oh my God. So yeah, I mean, peptides, right guys? It's an all-night party. It's so funny. Yeah. So
All right, well, I'll hop off and let you guys do your thing. I'll see you guys
oh,
later.
no worries. I was just going to ask
Later,
does everyone to say where
Later,
they're
Shay.
calling from, but no worries.
Any of you guys ship to Canada? Sandra's wanting to know if anybody ships to Canada.
Is anyone shipped to Canada?
No.
Yeah.
We get seized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I initially shipped to Canada back in December or October. I don't know, back then. It had 2 custom seizures. I was like, nope, not getting involved with this. Not worth the trouble.
Peptira, they're saying.
Yeah. Cam, don't you ship to Canada?
Yeah, no, we ship there currently. We don't have issues with it as of right now. We actually have been luckily had no seizures as of yet. So we've had a couple turned back due to improper what's it called, labeling or packaging, or the case might be, but nothing that's been actually seized or turned down. So yeah, we're having okay luck with it. But I think if obviously if things get pretty tight or nasty, similar to what Shay is experiencing, I think it's probably something we're just gonna nip and move on. But as of right now, we do temporarily. So
You heard that, Sandra? Amino Well.
Yeah, correct. Amino Well USA. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyone offer Afterpay? Shay, what's going on with the Afterpay? Is that still a thing?
It exists, but I don't even know if it's worth the risk.
Right.
I mean, we are theoretically approved for Klarna and Afterpay, but at the same time, they're like there's a lot of underwriting, and they're always staring at your website, and I don't want them staring at the website all the time. So that's the issue with it.
People want to know your stacks.
Well, someone can go first.
I don't want you to rate my stack. That's embarrassing.
I didn't say I know that's my segment, but I will not be rating anyone's stack up here tonight. If anyone wants to share their stack,
I'll talk a
I
little
just
bit.
take a ton of MT2 and that's it.
So
Yeah.
allow you to, if you don't know my story, like I was 377 pounds. So like that's how I started this whole journey. Currently I took a break for almost 6 months, put on 25 pounds. And then now I'm back on the S, I also take Sloop and Tesofensine personally. I take BPC in cycles because I have a really crappy shoulder, and I would really like to not have shoulder surgery. And I'm almost 50 years old, and it's working for me, What else? That's pretty much it. I've cycled, I've done NED. I prefer NED in an infusion than any other method, so it happens once in a while. What else? I was working with a couple of the employees here. They were very scared, but they wanted to take Clo, so I cycled Clo for a little while with them, just so they felt better. I don't know. I think just straight BPC is better for me. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at now. Just taking the S and my 3 capsules a day.
Nice.
I do
Very nice.
Clo, RT, CDJPepperz, and Tesofensine.
Nice.
Love.
How do you guys both like Tesofensine? And that's 2 people that are on it. It's not commonly, people don't commonly use it, but it's good, How do y'all like it though?
I mean, I love it for the effects or the benefits it gives me with my mood and motivation to get things done. Honestly, it's changed my life for my energy.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
How is it for regulating appetite and stuff? Do you notice that as well?
I have not noticed any difference with appetite changes with taking it. Really, honestly, just improvement in mood and energy levels.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I started taking it just because I needed to eat my own dog food, and I was testing out capsules from a provider. So I was like, all right, let me cycle this, and it's just become Yeah, like I can attest to the mood thing. I have pretty aggressive ADHD, as you can tell that I've been sitting here doing this the whole time.
Hey, fidgeting's good, bro. It's extra calories.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting my
They call that
steps in.
neat, right,
Right.
Cam?
Yeah.
Neat.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So again, like tesofensine, I feel like it makes a difference. But again, it's really it really comes down to what's working for you. Do your research, everybody. Talk to reputable sources, people who have information like Cam, like Caitlin. Yeah, and there's nothing that will. Nothing's unreversible, I guess I would say. You know, like again, nothing's for human use, but yeah, just try it.
Yeah.
Shay,
Yeah.
dying to know
And if you're
your
worried
side.
about it,
There's nothing special here. For me, I take Clo maybe for 1 month every quarter, more so just for the BPC and TB, just because like I have random tendonitis in my forearms. And then I have some skin issues from past health issues, and I also have inflammation issues. So I guess the KPV and the GHK kind of work as well. So I guess they're just thrown in, but
It sounds like a
honestly,
great blend for you.
yeah, it's actually a very good blend. But yeah, I try not to take too many things because I've just had so many health issues. I just don't want to mess with my body because it's doing good right now. And so if it's not broke, just don't fix it. I might play with some bronchogen here soon because I do have like lung issues and emphysema. Never smoked a cigarette in my life, but I have emphysema, and I might try it out to, for those purposes. But yeah, there's so many things I want to try. I just don't want to. I don't want to mess with anything.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Bioregulators are super cool, though.
Makes sense.
Yes.
I love all of Dr. Cavinson's work. I think it's really underrated because, I mean, they were such small studies. That's why. And some of them went somewhere at like, epitalin, and then some of them didn't. But like, I had a really good experience a few months back with Vesolute, which is another bioregulator for bladder function. It's been amazing because I suffer from interstitial cystitis. Game changer. Because it's largely it was used in populations of women who have overactive bladder, and the results, like 80% of the women who were in this study had reported decrease in symptoms even as far as 6 months after the course of Vesolute in the study. So it was like huge. So I was like, basically interstitial cystitis is overactive bladder with a pain element. So if it could get rid of at least the other 90% of my symptoms, I'm like, I'd be good with that too, And I must tell you, it really, I mean, there's still food sensitivity, but the frequency, urgency, pressure has drastically decreased. So like the amount of like trips to the bathroom per day is like cut in half. And that was only just a few months out. So like, Shay, if you're interested in bronchogen, like I would definitely do it. There's tiny enough molecules that theoretically, even though they don't have as much human data as other things, they can do what they are theorized to do, and on the other end of it is they're also small enough molecules that they're not going to hurt you, even if you're not one of the 80% that see the benefits from it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's another thing is a perk about bioregulators is it's a short course. It's like 10 to 20 days, twice a year.
Simple adherence.
It's super simple. It's not something that you need to marry every day for the rest of your life. It's like 2 times a year for like a little touch up, and and I mean, things like epitalin are like proven to lengthen telomeres. You know what I mean? Like anytime they dig deeper into one of these bioregulators, there's always positive results. So it's just like anecdotally, there's a lot there. And Vesolute is the name of the bioregulator I used for ICCB.
I mean, the cool thing about bioregulators is people say there's not as much human data, but compared to a lot of peptides, there actually is more human data than a lot of peptides. Albeit a lot of it is Russian, but a lot of those have actually made it outside of Russia, and some of them have like extensive testing outside of just Russian, like out of just Cabinson specifically, which is cool. I think they're super neat, and they're very, very simple. They're very absorbable considering how small the amino acid chain is. There's so many transporters in our bodies that just actually can transport them without them being lost to bioavailability issues or whatever the case might be. So they're cool. That it's definitely piqued my interest. I mean, I've tried, besides bioregulators, I've done just about everything that there is to do, and I've stacked about all of it at the same time, you know, and that's kind of the research I choose to do. My stacks, I mean, I'm sure Caitlin and maybe Will know my stacks are quite extensive from time to time. But I like to, that's how I choose to do my research, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you're the guinea pig, so you can tell your audience what things do, and I appreciate that.
Of course, yeah. There's got to be at least one dude to fall on the sword, right? No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that's happening with these compounds specifically, but it's fun. I mean, there's so much amazing stuff out there, and so many new things in development. You know, a couple cool small molecules that are around, and there's just it's a crazy space. This space is so cool. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I think it's only going to get cooler.
Should bioregulators only be ran if you struggle there, or are they good preventatively? I don't know if they've been tested preventatively.
The whole thing behind them is like their gene, like so their ability to go into a specific tissue they're derived from and upregulate gene expression, protein expression, to essentially, like without going into detail on each individual one, it's essentially setting back the clock on that specific tissue, effectively reversing aging to some degree, whatever that case might be. As we age, biological processes slow down or die off. The goal of a bioregulator is effectively preventing that from occurring. Restoring normal tissue function is kind of the design philosophy behind it. So, I mean, a prophylactic approach, and or after you're already in a state of a specific, you know, whether it's a disease or just downregulation of that tissue's function, I think that they both could be theoretical. You know, you could theoretically apply that to both situations. I think, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
Are any of you guys going to go to any of the peptide conferences later this year or next year, or any of the big trade shows?
I need to. I would love to.
I'd like to.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Aiden and I just went to Biohackers World.
Yeah, we were just at Biohackers World in New York. I think I'm going to do, they asked me if I wanted to do Chicago, but that's like in 2 months, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because it's Labor Day weekend. But I think I want to do Biohackers Miami in January. That was a really fun one. And I think there was like... Of course it is. Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's going to be a fun one. It's Miami in January.
What's the Caitlin? What's the one in is it October here in Dallas? I mean, you're so much better keeping up with that stuff than I am. Yes. I don't know about any
in
of that
October.
Stuff.
There's Once Upon a Meetup is having a GLP-1 conference, so to speak. But I've heard from other cities that they do. It's a little less formal than like booths set up and things like that. It's not. There's no expo to it. It's more like the people who attend kind of like dictate what the
Oh, okay. So it's just like a little Facebook group that's meeting up, having a good time, as opposed to like a big conference type thing.
Right. It's not as much of like how Biohackers World was like structured talks.
Yeah.
That was super cool. So some of the talk. For those of you who keep asking me about the podcast is still going on. We just had 2 days, full days, 12-hour days worth of footage from Biohackers World that we recorded, and we're still going through all the footage.
Yeah, that takes forever and ever. So
yeah. So it's coming. I swear it's coming. And once we get like reviewed, we've already got a first pass of just day 1. That took a long time. Once we get both days reviewed of footage and figure out how many episodes we can get out of it, then I'll start scheduling people for like regular regular, just one-on-one podcasts again.
Cool.
Everyone pretend.
Hey, actually, I kind of have a question for, I guess, some of the owners here real quick. So obviously you guys are probably on TikTok. You guys probably scroll around. What are your guys' thoughts on like the videos that you guys will see of people just blatantly giving out dosing recommendations, cycle guides, protocols, what to expect? Like what are your guys' thoughts on that? And then these guys own companies and promote that they own companies. Like what do you think is going to happen here? Because I mean, I'm someone, when I first got into it, like I talked protocol type stuff for a while until I lost like my 14th account. And I'm like, okay, I'm never doing this ever again. I'm going so far away from even discussing protocols. I'm only going to discuss education. And that's how I've kept it. But these other people are like viral content, like creator size that is, 10x me, 10x Caitlin combined,
Yep.
But talking about full-blown dosing protocols. I mean, where do you guys see that kind of stuff landing? And then unfortunately, people are just eating that stuff up. Like it's like their favorite content in the world.
Oh yeah. I mean, it pisses me off because like you, I've had a million accounts banned from just talking about that stuff. And for some reason, these creators aren't getting banned. But I mean, the problem is the protocols are not a one size fit all for anybody. I think we all kind of understand that. And you better make sure that the correct. And from what I've seen, I've had this discussion with Caitlin too, and it's just like there are a lot of people out there saying incorrect information about things, and it's just, people are just eating it up. Like you said, they're getting thousands and thousands of views and followers. And I mean, I don't know, just be careful. Don't just go off of one person. Do your research like we've always preached. Don't just go off of one person. Make sure you hear and get the protocol or wherever it's from for multiple people, and make sure you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, again, I only started a TikTok channel, like a week ago. I've avoided social media at all costs. And a lot of the time it's because of people like that. And we know who it is. We don't have to name names. I think we all know. I'm not here to badmouth anybody in this industry. It's a hard industry, and we should all band together. There's no need for us to have animosity. However, I have read indictments, and I can share it with you guys. Here I've read indictments that cite social media. Okay, I think people are way too lax with what they're putting out there. And it's gonna come to bite some people in the ass at some point. So a lot of these people who are doing it wrong, because there are a lot of people who are doing it right, but there are some people who are doing it wrong. Eventually, they're gonna come for you. It's gonna happen. So everybody that's lasted in this industry, we know how you have to operate. It's all these new people that really have no idea. And anytime I see somebody getting a warning letter or getting shut down or anything like that, it's bad for the whole industry. Like, even if it's not me, even if I don't like the person that's getting taken down, it's bad for all of us.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of my thought behind it too, is like the implications for the entire industry. Like, what is that, not just the individual user getting in trouble, right? But like, what does that do for the research space as a whole? Because again, like Will was saying, like they're throwing out protocols that are wrong. Well, I mean, crap, there's not even any protocols that exist that are actually real protocols that are for humans. So they're making stuff up. And then a lot of them will say, well, I read the literature and this is what the literature shows, and they make up a protocol. I'm like, dude, come on, like you're yanking someone's chain. I mean, I made a video I haven't posted yet, but I basically said that this is sort of a product of like artificial intelligence, in my opinion, where I think the artificial intelligence is going to make a lot of hyper intelligent people, but it's also going to make an equally and opposite amount of unintelligent people, because they don't have to verify anything. They don't have to know anything. They can talk to an AI robot, regardless of if the AI robot knows what it's talking about or not. Like, someone's just going to believe, they're going to take it at face value. They're not going to do any Google search, any actual evidence, any evidence-based searching or anything. So it's that part scares me the most, is like all the stuff that I see, because it's actually rare to find a video that genuinely breaks down meaningful education, and it's more so just like a save this for later. This is your protocol. You'll never have to watch another video again. This is how you use this compound. I'm a doctor. Like it's that kind of stuff. It freaks me out. Like that's the stuff that scares me in this space.
It's just not wise, and you're putting a shelf life on yourself the second you start doing stuff like that. Like you're just as my attorney will say, why are you creating evidence against yourself?
I mean, I have for underwriters. I mean, just for credit card processing, I've had a number of them cite affiliates on TikTok talking about peptides.
The WorldPay thing, right, Shay? WorldPay cited the pricing, the peptide pricing sites, as well as influencer content.
Yeah. So for the letter we got, they did cite the peptide pricing websites. 3 of the biggest ones actually. But they did not mention any affiliates on TikTok or anything like that. But I have had card underwriters for other companies mention like, hey, you have affiliates on TikTok and they are talking about peptides in terms of human use. So I guess it is really tough. Like I would say as an owner, I would probably steer clear of doing that. Even talking about, I don't know, just making videos in general about peptides and what they do, because I think a lot of the processors and the FDA have cited that, even like in actual studies. So I know some of the FDA letters have said, hey, you mentioned that tirzepatide showed 23% fat loss in a 9-month study or whatever it is. So just as an owner, I would definitely steer clear from making those claims and talking about peptides in that matter.
Yeah, because that's blatantly human use, like you gotta.
This is the bill.
You gotta be smart. You gotta be. But here's the thing. Sometimes, and this goes back to what Cam was saying, how some of these creators are like me and Cam put together times 10 with their follower counts. Like sometimes being safe and keeping your account means flying under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
A little bit. You know what I mean? Like keeping it, because like I used to lose accounts like pennies when I would do science snacks. Okay. That's why this is the first account of mine to get to 10K. And I've been doing this for over a year. Because I like every like 12 weeks, I would get violations and lose my account because I was talking about the science. But then there are these people who are actually like pinning themselves on camera and giving blatant dosing information. And those videos get like millions of views and pumped out through the algorithm. So I just had to like pivot and just go like, okay, we're going to go more low key with this. We have to like, that's why I just play Rate My Stack for now and on the main account and do the Pepfluencer roundtables. And that's basically what this specific account's job is for the roundtables, because I feel like they're more valuable to the community than any video I'll get a violation on, honestly. So it's really like an account that I go live on is really what this is for, because I've noticed that the lives, there's a like once you figure out the rules, you can get away with talking about a lot more science on them. They don't flag as much of the content you're saying when you're talking about science on a live as versus a video.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I agree.
Oh my gosh, people are still here for it in the chat. Oh my gosh. Losing accounts like pennies. That's right. The way people lose pennies.
It's true, man. It's true.
Oh yeah. I remember you hitting me up all the time, be like, my account just got killed. Do you know anybody who can unlock it? That was really early on.
I will be back in 2.5 minutes. Gonna go use the restroom quick because I finished this entire bottle. And
oh my God, totally fine.
That's good. Hydration.
I've seen girls doing lip fillers on their lives and don't understand how they haven't gotten them. He's the golden boy.
That reminds me of the guys that, like, you know, they talk about steroid use, which is fine with me. It doesn't matter to me. I actually really enjoy the content, but in reality, steroids could potentially be a lot more dangerous than peptides. But like the steroid guys don't get even like touched, and then they'll talk about like a peptide, and then their account will go, boom, see you later. And it just makes me laugh. It's like peps are like the hot.
Yeah, there's honestly, like I've found from being in it a while now, there really is no rhyme or reason. I mean, for example, we can talk about and do all the right things and still lose an account while somebody is literally giving blatant dosing advice while injecting GHK copper into their face and they don't get their account taken down. So it's not anything that we're doing and or not doing. I don't know what it is. I've never been able to figure it out. You know, I think that this is one of the longest I've been able to keep my accounts up, but it will probably be gone tomorrow now that I said that. So follow me on my backup as well.
Yeah, right. Follow my
it's just the space that we exist in, man. It's so hard to navigate. It genuinely is wild. I think probably the safest thing is just being a straight live streamer and don't even make videos, honestly. I just like making videos though, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But yeah, the live streams are probably the best place to do it for sure if you're gonna do anything.
Yeah,
that's true. I do agree with that.
And if you're not collecting emails, you're silly, because then you can keep in touch with the people if you do lose your account. That was one of the big things I told the affiliates. Like, there has to be a way for you to collect the emails just so you can stay in touch. Because these things that get killed constantly, and you're not going to be able to reclaim 10,000 users. You know?
Right. Right.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So.
Well, guys, I might get off here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bounce as well. I gotta go eat.
Yeah. Thanks for everything, Caitlin and Cam, and nice meeting you two guys, Shay and Matt. So.
Nice meeting you all. Thanks.
Yeah, pleasure, guys.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting everybody.
We'll do this again some other time.
We should definitely do this again. Yeah,
for sure. Y'all take care.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
I will tune off as well. You guys have a great rest of y'all's night. Matt, Shay, good seeing you guys. Caitlin, as always, I will see you here in the future. Whatever comes next, I'll be around. Chat, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We do appreciate all of you guys. Every single one of us up here has the utmost gratitude for every single one of you guys. And I will see everybody tomorrow at some point. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's night, guys. Take care.
Good night, Cam.
Later. Bye, guys.
Thanks again, Caitlin and Matt. It was fun. And thanks for all the viewers too. That was a lot of fun questions.
I'm going to round it off too. 2,740 views is our record for the night. So
cool.
That was a cool one. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Matt. And I'm glad we were able to get you on.
Yes. I will have my own account next time. Hopefully it's aged by then. It still says it's approving me. But yeah, no, thanks for having me on.
I was glad we were able to pinch hit like that. I was like going through my backup accounts being like, which one of these is got full live capacity? So there we go.
And if y'all liked having me, you should tell her to invite me more often. You know, so you hear that, chat? All right.
It's done.
Cool.
Oh, but Matt, what's your account so we could post it in the chat for people?
Hold on. So I know the Felix one is it's Felix Chem 7 for now. That's the only way we could do it. And I just created mine. I think, what is it? I'll give it to you. Like I don't remember what it is, because you know how when you first start an account, like you have to have like 1 million underscores because everything is taken, everything. So I forget what it was exactly, but yeah, Felix Chem 7 should be it.
Okay, got it. Awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna let you guys finish off the night. Thanks for everybody, and yeah, let me know if you want to chat again after the FDA meeting.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we'll try and coordinate something.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, Matt. All right. All right. Okay. All right, gang. So, thank you guys. Well, that was fun. I thought so too. Cookie is so cute right now. She's all snuggled up. You are the goat. Thank you. Oh, hey, Cam. Top-notch stuff, CDJ. It gets better every time. Aw. What happened to SS31? It's FDA approved for Barth syndrome, and a bunch of peptide companies got cease and desist letters to stop selling it. I guess in the disco, though. I know. It's because these were owners, so they didn't have like 1 million followers each. You know what I mean? I was worried about all this going away. Yeah. Yeah. It's an excellent life. So happy to meet the owners. Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked it. Yeah. I just wanted to like put the panic buying at a pause, even though like I work on commission. I don't want people like freaking out thinking that like research is going anywhere. You know what I mean? Why can RITs be sold by pro companies, but Retta might not be able to? Because if Retta gets approved as a biologic, that means they can own it proprietary. TERS is not a biologic. It's still considered a peptide. So it's a maybe. They're taking it. I think it's going to the Supreme Court. They're suing the FDA to try and get approval to sell it as a biologic because it has 39 chains in its of amino acids, and I think you have to be like 41 to be considered a biologic. So they want to get special exemption to be considered a biologic, so they can charge $7,000 a pen. And I'm not exaggerating. That's how much they'd want to charge. Reminding me of Dr. Sawicki tonight. Oh, it's the glasses. Yeah, they're also knowledgeable. So maybe the case that FDA approval might not be a good thing. It's not that it wouldn't be a good thing. It's that, you know, it wouldn't directly affect. It would be like a downstream effect. But still go by code CDJ. We're stocked up for 10 years of Peps anyway. Will you post on YouTube? I like to rewatch, keep getting interrupted. Yes. I'll post this on YouTube sometime tomorrow. Make us a good reticent. What is the podcast? The podcast is called Rolling with the Tides. You want to battle? No. Yes, recordings going on YouTube. Is Ozempic a biologic? No. Honestly, it may be a double-edged sword. I have 10 years of Retta. Who needs? You guys. My YouTube is just CDJPepperz. But if you find Rolling with the Tides podcast on YouTube, you'll find the Pepfluencer Roundtable. Like you'll be able to trace and find the old, because then there's old Pepfluencer Roundtables on there too. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys very much. So I think my brother's going to go live after this, RMJPepperz. So go check out his live. Go spam his chat with corn emojis and the corn gifts. He likes those. Just make a new GLP that is super similar to Red. No, they'll have to prime a Red out of my cold dead hands. So head over to RMJ. It's roll call at 600. He's going live with Orb. Go over there. Spam his chat with corn emojis and corn gifts. He loves that. Oh, and tomatoes now. He likes the vegetables. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so very much. So as we always say, never pay retail. I love you for watching and always do more of what makes you happy. Good night.